Hey guys, this is Myleek and this is the podcast. And today I want to talk to you about something that I have found myself repeating with many people that I work with this week. And I just want to say, lower the bar. Lower the bar, you guys. And I'm asking you to lower the bar, not because you are not capable, but because perfectionism is killing your momentum.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. I hope you're ready for the most dippable chicken in McDonald's history. Dip it in all the sauces. Dip it in that hot sauce in your bag. Dip it in your McFlurry. Your dip is your business. McCrispy strips at McDonald's.
Perfectionism is not allowing you to start to even see what might be possible for you. And so today I want to talk about why lowering the bar might be the very thing you need to unlock your creativity, to have more progress, and let's just keep it a buck, to have some actual peace around the things you love to do. So many of us have talked ourselves into a standard of how our work should look based on the things we like, the quality of the photos or the video or the writing, right? I know this. Right now, we have access to so much content and then we start comparing ourselves because we're like, well, this person looks like me, or they live where I live, or we look to be about the same age. They also have a kid or two. And then we start thinking that I should also be having this level of quality. And you've heard this statement before, but you are comparing your step 1 with someone's step 10, which probably includes an editor, content manager, mother-in-law living with them, camera person, lighting, makeup, teleprompter, studio, family in town to watch the kids while they can get all this stuff done. And we have talked ourselves out of being a beginner or being seen as a beginner. Now, I'm going to address this because I know you're just like, no, Myleek didn't. Little Miss Excellence. And, we've seen the YouTube of you saying this. And this was the song I sang and the song I continue to sing. Be clear. It is no secret that I have high standards. I like things done well. And I am also unwilling to try to make something be what it's not. When I updated my website this year, I knew a few things. The old website didn't really reflect what I was doing or how I felt. It felt far too glamorous for where I was in my life and career. And the reason why I had such a beauty forward shop before is because I had a business in the beauty industry, right? And I was just like, okay, this isn't really reflecting where I am now. I knew that that my work was going to evolve over time because I was just beginning to start working with clients and coaching. And I didn't even think I would be doing that. But now that I was doing it and enjoying it, I was like, well, I do like this and I want to do it, but I don't know where this is going to lead me. So I want to put something up that's just good enough for now. And so something that I can update as things change. So what did I do? I wore clothes from my closet for the shoot. No stylist necessary. I had my hair pulled back in a bun. No need for a hairstylist to submit looks. I toned it down into what I feel right now, not some version of me that I hoped I would become. I'm not trying to sell people that I'm the next anything or, some bright idea that I have. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything other than this is where I am right now. And so High standards are about intention, right? We are just being intentional about what we're doing. High standards say, I care about the quality of what I put into the world, not if it's not perfect, then it's not worth doing at all. If I don't know exactly where I'm going to be with this coaching career, if I'm not going to be this or that, then I'm just going to do nothing. And it's just like, no, this is where I am right now. Now let's talk about the difference. High standards leave room for growth. They recognize that good work evolves.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
Paralysis demands perfection on the first try, and it tricks you into believing that starting small or having visible missteps are signs of failure. And so when I updated my website, I still held my standards. I wanted something clear, thoughtful, and aligned. But I didn't let that stop me from launching something that wasn't 100% of the final vision. I didn't delay it until I had the full everything, the team, the stylist, or the right look. I moved with what I had, and that's the difference. High standards are going to support your progress where paralysis is going to shut it down. Let's talk about the problem with perfection. If I know my clients will tell you they're sick of me saying that perfectionism is fear in a Gucci belt. And I only say that because of that one meme that they were just saying, what is it, like America is something in a Gucci belt? I don't know. But I feel perfectionism, it's a fear-based strategy dressed up as ambition. This is what I want to tell you about fear, you guys. It's clever. It doesn't always show up like panic, or it's not always like, oh, she's hiding or he's hiding. Sometimes it shows up as refining, as reworking, as I'm just going to research. I just need to do a little bit more research. And I feel like ChatGPT is going to kill us, because the amount of times that people refuse to do anything because they feel like they need to keep asking, and because we have all this access to more answers and you feel like you're waiting for the exact answer, it will convince you that you are just being thorough when you're really avoiding being seen in process. Perfectionism will tell you that once it's flawless, you can share it, but progress is going to say this, and I want you to write this down somewhere. Once it is honest, I will release it. Once it is honest, I will release it. Because most of the time we're not trying to protect the work. We're trying to protect ourselves from judgment, from being misunderstood, from the sting of not getting the applause or praise we feel like we deserve, or the praise or applause we see other people get. And perfectionism is going to take a toll. It's going to delay your growth in the name of protection. It keeps our work, our voices on lockdown until we feel fully safe. And I hate to say it, but in the creative process, safety is a myth. You grow by being willing to be seen before you feel ready. Okay? Now, old school style, you guys, because when I do these podcasts by myself, just the talking, my mouth gets dry. Okay? Now, and here's the thing, I am willing to be seen. Look at how I lowered the bar. I've been lowering the bar on this podcast since I started it. I'm not here to be perfect. I don't need the music. I even thought about having music. I was like, this is stressing me out. it's not going to be on video. I'm not going to stop and start it over. It is what it is. Now, I want to address the idea of lowering the bar. This does not mean we're releasing things we're not proud of and letting things be sloppy. It's that we are allowing ourselves we are allowing things to be done in drafts. We're allowing things to be working. And I put that in quotes. Back when I worked at a PR agency, the tag that they'd often use when something might have looked done, but needed a little something, but nobody really knew what the something it needed was working. Here's my working press release. Here's my working post. Here's something that I have started that could be complete, but I know it may need a little something to push it over the line. And maybe you would release that version of it. And then someone makes a comment on it, or you get some feedback and you're like, now I know for the next time what I could do to really push that forward. And a lot of what I do in my career is working. And I have it in quotes, working. Example, when I hosted the sleepaway camp for moms last year, it was working. I had never been to the location before. I knew it was going to be hot as heck. That's why we had the prices that we got. And so I was just like, I have the idea, but I don't really have all the particulars, and the particulars may have to emerge while I'm in it. And so you can make room for things to get better over time. Everything you do doesn't have to be a 10 plus, okay? Sometimes I share things undone in an effort not to talk myself out of it. Don't talk yourself out of it, my leak. Get it up and then decide. But the idea is yours and it has to go up now. And it reminds me of this Rick Rubin quote from, I think it's The Creative Act. He says, if you have an idea you're excited about and you don't bring it to life, it is not uncommon for the idea to find its voice through another maker. This isn't because the other artist stole your idea, but because the idea's time has come. Okay? Having a bar that's ridiculously high is going to cost you. It's going to cost you your idea because, as I just said, the idea will come through someone else because it has to come. You miss out on getting your dream. You miss out on getting your dream to the people who can help you get it over the line, who can help you make it great. You miss out on someone seeing you and saying, I know exactly what you need. You exhaust yourself trying to make everything pristine and then get mad when no one likes it. Oh, girl, that's the one. You did all of this. You went all over the top and you put the wrong clothes on the idea versus letting the idea get dressed itself. I really feel that way. I really feel like sometimes you have an idea and you think that it needs to be dressed in a certain way because you're trying to appeal to people versus just presenting your idea and letting it get dressed on its own. When I first started my company Curlbox, however long ago, I had an idea of what it was going to be. It was going to be Luxe brands, samples, and you were going to get multiple different products every month. But once I put the idea out, the idea dressed itself. You know what happened? It became full sizes because brands came to me and said it actually cost us more money to make samples than it would be to just order more full sizes. Noted. And then another brand came and said, we don't want to be in a box with other people. We really want for people to try our whole collection because nobody really buys a full set of anything, So we make collections so that they go together. We know that you like this shampoo and this conditioner and this serum and this leave-in, but we made these so that they all go together and we want people to try things all together. And so the idea dressed itself. I had a thought and it became something else. But here's the deal. I just put the idea out there. I don't know that people really even knew what I thought, but I made room for it to dress itself. Now, say it with me. Good enough gets it out the door. This isn't about how many likes I get. This is about how many times I show up and tell the truth. This is about how many times I choose honesty over polish. This is about how often I release something that reflects where I am, not where I wish I was. And I just want to say this. We don't build confidence by waiting until something is perfect. We build confidence by showing up imperfectly and realizing the world didn't end. Nobody made fun of you. Nobody did or said the thing you've always dreaded hearing. Nobody came to snatch your laptop like, what are they doing? The work still mattered. And so if I can offer a new definition of progress, I want to offer you this. Progress is when you stop editing yourself out of your own life. It's when you share the post, press record, send the pitch, raise your hand, or launch the page while you're still figuring it out. We do not have to prove to people that we have it all together. All we need to prove to ourselves is that we are committed to growing. And growth is not always an aesthetic. Sometimes growth is simply, I pressed send and didn't spiral. Sometimes it's, I released something that I know is working or unfinished and I didn't shame myself for it. So if you are looking for a new metric to track your progress, try this. Did I show up honestly today? Did I act on the thing instead of just thinking about it or talking about it or looking at somebody else doing it and criticizing them? And if the answer is yes, that's enough. That's your bar. Thank you for listening. If this resonated, visit myleak.com to learn more about my work, join my online community, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast wherever you listen. See you next time. Send this to whoever needs it.